Okay, we are going to talk about contrast commentary. Okay, contrast commentary. Well, commentary is a type of logical reasoning where you are trying to get a reader to understand and believe your point of view by using logic instead of just raw facts. So, y'all have out paper to take your notes? Somewhere to take your notes? Okay. We need to stop with the shuffles. I'm not going to lecture over a ton of noise, and shuffle is noise just like whisper. Stop, please. Okay. Under the box, I have either a snake or an elephant. That's a fact. Okay. Do you know which one it is?
No.
Okay. What if I give you a little bit of help and I say, if it were an elephant, what would it have?
A trunk.
It would have a trunk. It doesn't.
Oh.
What is under the box?
A snake.
Therefore, I gotta scroll up so I can see my writing. Therefore, it's a snake.
Oh my God.
Okay?
All right.
Now, this is contrast commentary. It sets up the opposite. If this were true, this is what we'd see. But guess what? We don't have that, so it is what I'm saying. Okay? That's contrast commentary, and let's take a look at what that looks like in writing. So, I have here claim and evidence. So, Aang is a forgiving boy. Is that a good claim?
Yes.
Is it an opinion?
Yes.
Is it logical based on The Last Airbender?
Yes.
Okay. Once I have that claim, what do I need? Evidence. When he was finally faced with the man trying to kill him, Aang refuses to kill Fire Lord Ozai, saying he had learned there was another way other than killing, and that he would only take Ozai's powers. DiMartino. Who is DiMartino? The author of The Last Airbender. Does that evidence prove he is forgiving?
Yes. Yes.
No. Because somebody else could say, it's not him being forgiven. That's the way the monks raised him. That's just normal for him. And this is the trick of real arguments. Sometimes kids think that facts prove arguments. Well, if I have a fact, a kid runs in the room, slams the door, and then jams the door shut. That's a fact. Are there teachers, are there kids who are going to interpret that fact in different ways?
Yes.
A teacher might look at that and say, he's being disrespectful. A kid might look at that and say, he's going through something. Or he's being goofy. Or there's a danger in the hallway. But the same fact can be interpreted in different ways. When you were a child, and let's be honest, your brain right now is closer to an adult's brain than a child's. When you were a child, you thought that facts proved your point. The problem is, that suggests that every person has the same perspective, the same point of view. Please get your hands off the keyboard. I need you focusing on this. If you screw this up, you are in trouble for literally the rest of high school. Because you will be doing contrast commentary for the rest of high school. Sully, could you save her from her own idiocy? Don't throw your bone and you won't lose your bone, child. So, the facts are facts. But to make an argument, you have to tell me your perspective on it. Why you think that fact proves what it proves. And we do that through contrast commentary. So we're going to set up the opposite. If Aang were what? What is the opposite of forgiving? If Aang were ruthless, what would he have done? He would have killed Ozai and any other enemy that stood in his way. He might have tortured them too. Because let's be honest, The Last Airbender, as much as it was a kid's story, dude, that had some darkness in it. Like, am I seriously watching a children's cartoon that has genocide?
Okay.
Yes, I am.
And the kids do have imagination, please.
Okay, am I done with my contrast commentary? In your groups, is that contrast commentary finished? In your groups, go.
I don't think so.
Okay, take a look up here. If it's missing something, tell me what.
I think it's trying to say it is. Yeah, therefore.
Okay, is my contrast commentary finished?
No.
No, because it has two parts. I talk about how the opposite doesn't happen, but I have to bring it back to therefore.
That's why he's forgiving.
Yes. He doesn't do this because he is a forgiving young man.
They're gonna say polygamy.
Okay? So, you set up the opposite, but you have to bring it back to your side. That's contrast commentary. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right now, talk to your groups, and I want you to write notes on contrast commentary. What does it look like? How do you do it? Because in about 10 minutes, you're going to have to write your own. And that's a problem because you weren't supposed to. I was looking for claim and evidence. So if you did that, it's wrong.
You don't know.
Evidence and commentary have to be separate things. Okay, take notes. Take notes. Take notes. Take notes.
It makes sense to you.
Yeah.
It's like when you do it.
Yeah, get your notes in your own words because in about 10 minutes you're going to have to reproduce these.
Aiding, it's like aiding the claim through logical reasoning, like defense claim. Like if you look, it's like the evidence gives us why, and well, like you said, people could take that as like that's just
I said, like Dana said, you have to claim, but to prove your point, you do the opposite. And then say, well, that didn't happen, so you're claiming to that. Okay, that's good. Okay, I was trying to figure out a way I will remember it. And it's one.
Okay, here's a general rule. Not always true, but generally it is true the majority of the time. Commentary should be at least as long, if not longer, than evidence. And here's why. If you are a doctor and you are looking at symptoms, what is more important? You listing the symptoms or you coming up with reasoning and explanation for what the diagnosis is? What's more important, the symptoms or the diagnosis? The diagnosis. Now, will every doctor see the same symptoms?
No.
If you give them the same patient, will they see the same symptoms?
Yeah.
Yes. Will every doctor come up with the same diagnosis?
No.
No, because sometimes doctors are wrong.
Yes.
Okay? So here's the trick. Kids tend to think that the most important part of an argument is their evidence. And evidence is brilliantly important. If you don't have good evidence, your argument will not hold because you cannot base something off your feelings. However, the most important part of an argument is commentary. And that's what we're doing. Commentary is the reasoning that you use to build a story around that evidence. It is your explanation of what that evidence really means. If you are building an argument off of just facts, that is a very juvenile way to see the world. Because it implies that you think that everyone who sees the same facts comes to the same conclusion. And kids think that because they don't understand that people outside themselves have very different opinions and very different interpretations. Commentary is your interpretation. Zeke, did you have a question?
Yeah, commentary. Is it logical to make quotes of evidence?
In commentary, no.
Okay.
Commentary is your reasoning. Now, where do you have to have quotes of evidence?
In your time.
In your,
Contract?
no,
Evidence.
evidence. You have to have quotes in your evidence. But your commentary is your it's like your diagnosis of what the disease is. It's like, here are all the symptoms. Here is my explanation for what those symptoms really mean. Okay? There are a lot of different ways, there are a lot of different types of reasoning. We are only starting with commentary, so don't think this is the only one we're going to hit. So let's do one more. Simba is irresponsible. Can we agree with that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that an opinion?
Yes.
Is it reasonable based off the evidence?
Yes.
Absolutely. What do I now need? Evidence. After your claim, you have evidence, always. And start by summarizing it before you get to looking for quotes. Okay, when his father tells him to stay away from the Shadowlands, he immediately
The exact opposite.
No, she
does the exact
Immediately doesn't give
opposite. He puts his father's life in danger trying to protect him. Okay. Does that evidence show your responsibility?
Yes.
Is it correct evidence?
Yes.
No, you need evidence.
I must have,
Quotes. Fragments.
I must have
A citation.
a citation. Even if you just have summarized evidence and nothing else, you must have a citation. Am I now correct? Is my evidence now correct?
Yes.
No, you need evidence. There's no quotes in there.
There's no citation. Every sentence of evidence needs to be cited. Now, is this evidence correct? Yes. Is it good? No, because it doesn't have, it has evidence. Summary is evidence. It does not have quotes. So this is correct evidence. It's just not good evidence. So I need to pull quotes. So here are my quotes. And that would be a disaster if I use them. So I have to take little bits and pieces and embed them. When his father tells him
You must never go.
Never go there.
he must never go
Hey.
Joey, stop. Hip! Stop.
No.
Dogs don't understand that word. Joey. Joey. When you tell a dog no, they generally don't understand what you're saying. You have to give them a command. Okay. When his father tells him he must never go to the Shadowlands, he immediately does the exact opposite. He puts his father's life in danger, trying to protect him. Now, here's the trick. I don't see anything in the quotes that I pulled that would fit in here naturally. Does it work if one of my sentences has just summary and only one of my sentences has a quote?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. So, is my argument done? Well, what is an argument? An argument is claim plus evidence plus commentary. Is my argument done?
No.
I have claim, I have evidence, both cited, and I do have embedded quotes. I do not have commentary. How do I set up commentary?
If you did this.
If he were, what's my opposite of irresponsible?
Responsible.
Responsible, or if I wanted to pull another word so it doesn't sound so repetitive, I might say,
Mature.
Wise.
if he were mature. He would have listened to his father and realized that he should not put his life in danger for fun.
But he didn't do that.
But he did it.
But for Simba, fun was everything, which is why he is irresponsible.
I would not bring up his father's death in the commentary because I haven't brought it up in evidence. Commentary is not the time to bring up new evidence. Commentary is the time for you to say, look, these are the facts that I'm putting on the table. Here's the story that I'm going to weave around them so that they make sense.
It's commentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like describing what's happening.
Yeah. Well, if you are a sports commentator, you don't just describe what's going on in the plays. You say things like, you know, Smith was injured last season. He is not throwing as fast this season. We're possibly looking at a long-term injury here. But if you listen to sports commentators on the radio or on television, they don't just describe physically what is happening in the play. They give commentary. They give explanations for why what's happening on the field is happening on the field. Okay? Yes. Right now, no, because I'm lecturing. In about 5 minutes, yes. Okay, so what is this? Claim. What is this? Evidence. What is this? Commentary. What specific type? Contrast commentary. That is an argument. An argument is claim, evidence, and commentary. Now, a lot of kids have not heard commentary before. They've heard reasoning. Reasoning is a logical strategy that you're using for explanation. So you can use comparison, you can use contrast, you can use significance. There are a lot of different reasoning styles you can use. But I don't use reasoning, I use commentary. Because commentary means you have reasoning, you have a logical strategy, in this case contrast, but you also have a return to the topic. You have to. Whatever it is you're trying to prove, if what you're trying to prove is irresponsible, if what you're trying to prove is forgiving, you have to return to that topic in your commentary. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what happens if you summarize your evidence? That would be failing. Because commentary isn't summarizing. It's bringing a logical strategy to bear. Make sense? I want to see a 5 up. 1, you're completely confused. 2, you're kind of confused. 3, look, this is tough stuff, but I think I can get it. 4, okay, I'm fine. 5, for the love of God, shut up, woman, I know this. 5 up, where are you?
Shut up.
Okay. Yeah, no, I do have kids put up 5s, and that's fine. Okay, well, because here's the simple fact. Lots of you are at 2 or 3, which means you've never ever encountered this before and it's going to be tough. Some of you are at 4s and you're doing this kind of 4 where you're like your thumb is wiggling, you're like, I wanna put up a 5, but I don't want her to take offense. It means you've been taught it before. So, and you guys get that I have to teach everyone, even if you already know it. So, no, if you give me a 5, I'm not offended. So, here's what I want you guys to do. You know the timed writing we did with claim and evidence? I don't want to grade claim and evidence. Claim and evidence, there's no way, there's no place in writing that you would ever put just claim and evidence. When you are writing, you would write an argument. Right now, unsubmit that assignment, and I want you to turn it into an argument.
I can do that. I was just glad I read a new question.